So, yeah, I'm gonna do this, but the next time I get a free slot, I'm going to do some Trails in the Sky again. Don't worry about that. Okay, select guide to view system tutorials. I do know how to fight, but I want to examine all my units. This episode is not going to be a battle episode. This episode is going to be me preparing for the painful time ahead. So then, we have our units. We have our main character, Byleth, who I've nicknamed Deckham, as a swordmaster. We have advantage, axe break advantage, sword and authority prowess level 3, and Professor's guidance. We have Edelgard as a fortress knight with her relevant prowesses and lance breaker. We have Dimitri as a paladin with his relevant prowesses in lance and authority, but also resistance, swordbreaker, and that would be Battalion Wrath. Claude is a wyvern rider with a bunch of bows and his relevant authority and bow prowess, along with resistance and close counter. And which one's that? Battalion Desperation. And I actually forgot what I was going to talk about, which is the stats of each. I looked this up in advance. Byleth has relatively balanced growths, except in resistance and magic, and defense. So, Byleth is never going to have great stats in anything, but it's hard for them to have terrible stats. Unfortunately, by being the relevant swordmaster, it means we're going to be outsped quite a bit. Look at this, attack speed of 25, a speed of 30, versus a speed of 26. So outsped by assassins. I have actually done this fight before, so I do know what's expecting. After that, it's completely blind. Edelgard actually has very balanced defensive stats, which isn't the best for a Fortress Knight, but she has the best charm growth in the game, which is actually quite handy when this game has gambits. How come you have Saurus mercenaries? I thought you weren't liked by them. We really don't want to get hit by that guy. Anyway, Edelgard has preference to Fortress Knight classes. Dimitri is ironically better he's a better physical fighter because he's got better defensive growths and offensive growths than Edelgard. It's just that he hates her classes, so she's probably going to end up better than him. What he is, however, is packing the highest strength growth in the game. He can really pack a punch. Claude has the best dexterity growth in the game and fantastic speed growths, so I'm not sure how the class growths match up to each other, but we can expect him to be moving pretty fast. And now we have our assistant students. Linhardt, he's packing the relevant reason and faith prowesses, along with miracle. He's going to be a task healer, and I suppose it's just as well that he's... If there was one Black Eagle I'd want to bring on function, it would be the one that can heal himself without any problems. We have Ash. Ash's special ability is Lockpick. That means that's going to be very handy for this run because we have a very limited amount of income and equipment, so being able to get into chests without keys is going to be quite handy. He's got bow prowess, more health, better hit, and close counter. I remember that the thing about Ash is that I judge everyone compared to Leone, so he's not as good an archer as Leone could be. But he is pretty decent. He's got good speed and good dexterity growths. And finally we have Hilda. Hilda has very good HP and speed growths and strength. Good growths in HP, speed, strength, so she's basically a better Cyril. And I keep referring people to names that we don't have. But the best part about having Hilda is Advocate. Adjacent male allies deal 3 extra damage during combat. So she is a very good support attacker. And yeah, we do have a hand axe. Now the important thing that I want to have a look at is, well, what abilities we can swap in and out is quite interesting. If I really want to, I could... I want her to be able to take as much punishment as possible. This is not easy. I think I'll hang on to the resistance ones. I don't know why Ash has sword prowess, but I won't question it. I probably do know why she has them. So then... Nah. Ooh, actually, which one gives her the best hit rate? Now the interesting thing that I never checked before. We can actually reclass them into interesting other classes. If we didn't want Edelgard to tank, we could turn her into a warrior, but then she'd have overlap with Hilda. Hilda could be a Pegasus Knight if we wanted a flying unit, but Ash could also be an assassin. He'd get much better speed, like, look at that, +5 speed for being an assassin. The catch is, it's still not enough to get a speed tie with the earlier assassins, which is the painful part. Linhardt could be a warlock if I wanted, but no, I definitely want the better healing magic. Claude could be a sniper. Dimitri could be a hero for some reason, which is weird because he hates axes. I know this from experience. Yeah, see? Poor axe. So how did he get that hero promotion? I feel like I'd rather have him as a paladin because I desperately need the Swordbreaker to deal with these twos. But I think I need to have a better look at the map itself, just so you've got an idea of what I'm dealing with. We have 2 assassins here with Swordbreaker, so they're very likely to hit. It's very difficult for Edelgard to hit them, and at 36 damage, they'll be doing 8 damage on her. The Brawler deals 29 damage, so he can't even scratch her. As does this one. This sniper would be able to hurt her, but not by much. This guy though. Vrajamushti, the mysterious relic crest of Chevalier. Crestbearer can use Eviscerate. He can also fight barehanded if he needs to. Eviscerate calculates damage using the lower of the foe's defense or resistance. That is dangerous because as a Fortress Knight, Edelgard doesn't have very good resistance. Up here we have some paladins, so we'd probably want to have Edelgard deal with them. Some more assassins, and then we have Happy. She is a Valkyrie with Banshee, Miasma, Swarm, all the dark spells. Monstrous Appeal. Make all attacks effective against monsters, but makes it easier for them to target the unit. So she's very likely to get hit by monsters. The problem is, as a Valkyrie, she has Black Magic and Dark Magic range +1, which means she outranges everyone. it's very hard to hit her when the only person who can hit back is Ash. Which is, well, fortunately he has the Kingdom Archers, but we'll go into that when we get to that. We have 2 Fortress Knights, which are relatively not difficult to get past. The problem is this rogue here. If we have Edelgard take the front line to deal with them, then he's gonna just hit her hard from behind. We have archers, another assassin, another archer, but then we have 2 Pegasus Knights, and the painful thing is that they're counted as an advanced class in the hands of the enemy, so they get Lance Flare. I don't get Lance Flare if I put Hilda in Pegasus Knight. A Warlock with Thoron, a Warlock with Ragnarok, a Bishop with Abraxas, and then we have Constance. A lot of people like Constance. Gain bonus to attack stats when indoors and defense and resistance when outdoors. She gets Black Tome Fair, but she also gets Transmute. Hit with a magic attack during the enemy phase, she gets +3 to all stats until the next player phase. That's kind of concerning. And then we have 2 more brawlers, an assassin, and the most dangerous thing on this map. I speak from experience. Yuri. For a start, Fetters of Dromi. It's the Crest of Auburn. It gives him extra movement, lets him move again, and may halve damage. That is dangerous, because it gives him Canto, but may halve damage means that he's effectively got 90 HP. So you can't one round him. Like, you don't even think about it, but look at this. Speed of 37, attack speed of 34. He doubles everyone and he has an attack of 40. This is not a fair fight. If he's not near an ally, he gets bonus 3 attack when in combat with a foe 1 space away. So I don't have to worry about that since he's only got a silver sword, but I also don't have to worry about him hitting anyone with magic, so I am counting on Edelgard to take that 16 damage and praying she doesn't get crit. If we look at the supports, main character here has supports with all the 3 lords, which is good because they get might bonuses from those 3 supports. No supports with any of the students, even though those are possible. Edelgard has support with Ekam Linhardt, Dimitri has Ekam and Ash, Claude has Hilda and Ekam. Keep in mind that Claude is actually the closest to the character he brought along because he gets a +1 might with her. So theoretically Claude can hit the hardest here, because he gets Advocate, which gives a bonus of 3. He can get Hilda throwing a hand axe or just hitting them for an extra 1, and then Byleth for another 1. So how much damage is that? With a steel bow that would be 43 damage. Still not enough to one round Yuri. I think the other thing about Yuri is that I just could not tell whether this was a man or a woman from the launch trailers and such, because very feminine looking. Truly lives up to the name of Trickster. I cannot buy new battalions, I can only replenish them. Do I have other battalions accessible? I do not, so everyone is basically locked into the best thing for them. If I really wanted to, I could change Ash to an assassin, I could change Claude to an archer, and I could change Hilda to a Pegasus Knight, and everyone would keep their own battalion. We'd be able to swap battalions around, it would work out, but let's just see what happens from here. One thing I do want to do though is buy a training sword. Because I particularly have this thing about I like having training weapons. They're low weight, which means I can minimize the chance of getting doubled, although where these guys are involved, there's no real chance of that. Anyhow, that's all my preparations, and it's only been half an hour. Let's tackle the fight in the next